या अली मदद कामरे साहब, तमाम दोस्तों को या अली मदद। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। हम मौला के मुबारक नाम से इस सेशन का आगाज़ करते हैं। नूर मौलाना शाह करीम उल हुसैनी हाज़िर इमाम, या मौलाए मेहरबान, या मौलाए मेहरबान, हमें तौफीक, ताईद, हिम्मत व यारी इनायत फरमा मौला, ताकि हम तेरी कोई इल्मी खिदमत कर सके मौला। या मौला तू जानता है, हमारी गुर्बत को जानता है, हमारी वीकनेस को जानता है मौला। या मौला तेरी मदद के बगैर, तेरे मुबारक नाम के बगैर, तेरी दुआओं के बगैर, तेरी रहमत के बगैर मौला हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते मौला। या मौला मेहरबान, हमारे साथ रहना, हमारे करीब रहना, अपना मुबारक हाथ हमारे शोल्डर्स पर रखना मौला, ताकि हम तेरे ही हुक्म से, तेरी मर्ज़ी से कुछ इल्मी काम कर सके मौला। एक बार फिर दुआ है मौला, तौफीक, ताहीद, हिम्मत व यारी। नूर मौलाना शाह करीम उल हुसैनी हाज़िर इमाम। Today we will continue on our subject Jamat Khana, practice and purposes, a more detailed look. All of you who were present with us last Sunday and yesterday evening, you will remember that we were talking about Jamat Khana and especially the prayer hall, जहाँ पर हम बैठकर अपनी दुआ, बंदगी, तस्बीहात करते हैं। So let's start with Imam's own word. What does Imam says about Jamat Khana? Because it is the Imam of the time who guides us in all matters. And let's look at this Farman and see how he is guiding us. What is he telling us about the Jamat Khana? Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Maulana Hazir Imam says, I would like them, when they come here, to remember that they come for prayers. When they come here, to remember that they come for prayers, that they come to perform that duty, which is the only duty which can make them strong in adversity and humble in success. Then Mawla mentioned 4 more points. I would like my spiritual children to come here with the spirit of Islam in their heart. कि जब हम जमात खाने जाएं तो हमारे दिल के अंदर इस्लाम की रूह हो, एथिक इस्लाम हमको पता हो, not only हमने पढ़ा हो बल्कि हम उसकी प्रैक्टिस करते हो। I would like them to come here with the love for their brothers and sisters, with the knowledge that if they are called upon for help, they should give help. If you remember, we had talked about the Jamat Khana, a place for brotherhood and sisterhood. And here is this line of Maulana Hazrat Imam's Farman. I would like them to understand that they are at all times brothers and sisters. Number 4, I would particularly wish that those of you who are parents should educate your children in such a manner so that they are not only Muslim in name, but they are Muslim at heart. This is Pakistan Farman, November 21st, 1964, at the opening of Garden New Jamat Khana, the Central Jamat Khana in Garden, Karachi. There are a couple of points I'd like to draw from this Farman. Number 1 is being mindful. Remember, today we are talking about that soon we will be returning back to Jamat Khana normally as it was before. If we return back to Jamat Khana as we were before, and not remember all of the knowledge, the Farameen, the Ginans, the Quranic ayats, the ilm hakiki, the ilm imam that we have learned in previous months, then we will return to Jamat Khana as we were before, not better and improved, with more knowledge and with more conscience. But inshallah, we are those mu'mineen with Imam's mercy who have invested their time day after day, week after week, months after months, to better ourselves in the understanding of our tariqah. And our tariqah is the tariqah of our intellect. So Mullah says, when you come over here, when you come to Jamat Khana, when you come for prayers, when you come here to perform your duty, I would like my spiritual children to come here with the spirit of Islam in their hearts. Not in the name, but they are Muslims in heart. What does Islam and Muslim means? Islam literally means salamati, peace. Muslim literally means submission, itahat, ibadat. If that is the farman, then when we go to Jamat Khana with this great understanding, we will go there with one mind, with very conscious mind, very pure and clean heart, for the purpose of submission. Be humble. Be humble. We cannot love Imam without loving his spiritual children, the Jamat, the brother and sisters in our Jamat. And when they need help, inshallah, we will be ready, willing to lend the hand. We should be able to give help. Because we are Imam's spiritual children, the brothers and sisters. And then responsibility is on the teachers, on the parents, on the Mukhi Kamriya and the Amaldaran to make sure that we as a Jamaat understand our tariqah. In one of the Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah, may our soul be sacrificed to their Imam, Farman says, Tame namna Ismaili cho. And here, Maula Baba, after 50, 60, 70 years later, is saying, do not be the Muslim in name, but in heart. We must and we should learn and understand the total supplication, total Farman Bardari. In one of Mawla's London Farman, Mawla says this beautiful line for us to remember and understand. And that is, our tariqah is not of a convenience, but of conviction. So let's move forward into our subject. As we had talked about the prayer hall, which is separate from the other hallways and rooms. Why is it kept separate? So when we enter into prayer halls, when we leave our shoes, our world, our dunya, our other thoughts outside, we should feel a sense of tranquility and spiritual. This is the place where we come and we forget about all of shortcomings, our sin, our fault. We just forget about all of that and just enter with the peace in our heart and be ready to be enlightened. When you enter the prayer hall, you should feel and you should understand that now you are entering the home of Imam. Just imagine in your physical life, if you have a chance to go to Eglamont in the home of the Imam, what kind of feeling would you have knowing that in a few seconds, in a few minutes, Imam will appear and will give you a didar? That feeling, mindful. We cannot go there unconsciously. We will not go there unconsciously. Remember, we are preparing ourselves to go back to Jamat Khana regularly now. But this time, unlike our previous life, this time we will be more mindful. And when we enter the home of the Imam, the prayer hall, we will have that feel and understanding that we are entering in the home of the Imam, and Imam is present in Jamat Khana. This is very, very important. As in the past, I always like to ask each of the listeners who are with me today and who will listen to this audio tomorrow, how many times do we think that Imam is present in Jamat Khana as we are entering the Jamat Khana? This is the question we should ask ourselves today in the preparation of returning back to Jamat Khana. I know I'm excited, and I know all of us are excited that soon, without any restriction, we will be returning back to Jamat Khana to offer our prayers, to offer our memanis, to offer our obedience. But this time we will enter in Jamat Khana with this thought in our mind. Your ears should be ringing and telling you that you are entering in the home of the Imam, and Imam is present in Jamat Khana. And when you do that, you know what will happen? Your other thoughts automatically will be left outside. Just like we leave our shoes outside, we will leave our worldly thoughts outside. And when we at the door of the prayer hall, and when we call out, Hai Zinda, do we believe that Imam is present? Imam is in Jamat Khana? Imam is alive in Jamat Khana? Because if we are just saying these words for the sake of saying these words, because our parent taught us, remember, this is not a new lesson for any of us, but a fresh, new look into our actions. Tomorrow we will return back with a new and improved, more conscious, more mindful when we go to Jamat Khana. Question to ask ourselves: why do we have to say Hai Zinda, and each person enters the Jamat Khana repeats Hai Zinda, Hai Zinda? We all know as an Ismaili that our Imam is the living Imam. We do not need to repeat that, correct? But we do. We do. The question is, why do we say it? What does it mean? What image should it bring in our mind, in our heart? Do we say this unconsciously as a part of our habit, a part of our regular practice? Or are we saying this with a conviction, with mindfulness? As we say Hai Zinda, and if we are not feeling that Imam is present in Jamat Khana, then how do we expect that today is the day that I will receive the didar of the Imam in Jamat Khana. But believe the Iman, the understanding, the deeper feeling plays a huge role. Those mu'mineen who truly believe, when they are saying Hai Zinda, then my Imam is living and present in Jamat Khana. And when someone answers Qaim Paya, they also become witness to what you are saying. And what they have become witness to? That I have also found Imam living and present. Now you have a witness with you in your belief. And those mu'mineen who does this have, and I'm not using the word maybe, I'm using the word they have received the didar of the Imam in the Jamat Khana. Because you are entering the home of the Imam, because of your pure heart, your mind at peace, you have taken out all the worldly thoughts. What I am presenting in front of you is a key. It's a key. It's a prescription. How you can have didar of the Imam with the pure heart, mind at peace. And if you look at the second line above, the prayer hall number B, forget about all your sin. You are in the presence of the Noor. You are part of his soul. You are his spiritual children. Just go there as the best spiritual child and see if your father, your spiritual father, your Mehraban, Rahman and Rahim Imam, the most merciful, does he give you didar or not? We are no longer talking about a simple lesson. We are talking about the highest possible understanding between a murid and the murshid, between a believer, a mu'min with the highest belief in his heart. When he says Hai Zinda, he should feel and understand where he is standing. It will bring the tears in your eyes that you are entering the home of the Imam, and Imam is present, and I'm about to have the didar of my Mola. As you were crying in the Darbar Hall when Mola Baba came recently in Diamond Jubilee, your eyes will have tears because you know you are about to receive the didar. You no longer have to wait for Imam to come and physically bless you with his didar, because he is willing, he is ready to give you the didar daily. every single time you walk into Jamat Khana. That is what I'm talking about here today. And then, once you enter the Jamat Khana, and if you have that feeling in your heart that Imam is present, think of the action you would have, the behavior you will have if you did not have that belief. We will be talking, laughing, moving around without any purpose, compared to if you believe that Imam is present in Jamat Khana. And everyone who enters the Jamat Khana believes that Imam is present in Jamat Khana. What behavior change we would have? How will we walk, talk and sit? We have no room for caution that so and so does this, our youngster do this, our older do this, our brother and sister do this. We are not worried about that. We make changes into ourselves. We take the responsibility for ourselves. And if each one of us do that, 100 of us do that, 1,000 of us do that, next day 10,000 of us do that, you be the role model for others. When they will look at you, when they will look at you in peace, when they will look at you with the happy faces, they will understand why you are in such a peace, with such a happiness when you come to Jamat Khana. And they will ask you, my brother, my sister, what is your secret? And you will tell them that I feel that Imam is present, living in Jamat Khana right now. How can I behave differently? How can I behave differently? And as soon you tell them that, inshallah ta'ala, they will follow your example, your lead. And on and on and on, you will be the light of the change. You will be the role model who will change the behavior of our Jamaat. Inshallah, you will be that person. So I believe I cannot emphasize more on this point. And we are all adult and we are all such a great mu'mineen that every week after week we put our time into learning, into listening, into understanding. And today we are at that end or at the age of the learning where we are learning the more higher and more deeper understanding of our Jamat Khana, with a great new fresh look at the Jamat Khana and our action of going to Jamat Khana. Let's come to our third point, and that is the dua and asking for forgiveness. That is one of the greatest ritual of our tariqah. Imam had given us a way out. We understand and Imam knows. Even as a mu'min, we will have some mistakes, some shortcomings. We will commit some sin. So first, knowing the sin of a two kind, knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly. If you are committing sins unknowingly and unwillingly, sometimes we commit those sins just because we are not paying attention to ourselves. That's how we commit unknowing and unwilling sins. And then there are other kind of sins which we are knowingly committing and willingly. Now you probably be asking yourself, who commits sins knowingly and willingly? In this very line, we receive this question just about every week. I have no choice because my friends are gossiping. I cannot be rude, so I become part of it. They are talking loud in Jamat Khana. They are having fun in Jamat Khana because I'm part of their friendship circle, of their group. I have no choice but to become part of it. We have all said this one time or the other. So what you are saying, I know it is wrong, but I'm willingly and knowingly are part of that action. Have courage to walk away. જ્યાં નિંદા થાય ત્યાંથી ઉઠીને ચાલવાનું. This is not a new lesson for us, Mu'mineen. My friends, my brothers and sisters, this is not a new lesson. When you see someone doing this in our family, in our friends, and especially in Jamat Khana, we must have enough courage to do few things. One, walk away. Uthine chalta thawano. Second, if you can, talk to them and say, how about we talk about something other than this subject? How about we change the subject? And third, if they are your good friends, if they are your family member who loves you, they will understand. They will understand. Have courage to say, I will not be part of the sin, part of the gossiping, part of the backbiting. I will not be part of it. Have courage. I know our peers, our dais, our buzrug have done it. If they have done it, then you and I can do it too. Yes, we can do it. One time, back in the time of Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, a follower Muslim came to Jamat and said, Ya Habibullah, Ya Rasul Khuda, I know a person who is talking about you and saying bad things about you. May I tell you, may I reveal that to you? May I tell you his name and what he is saying? Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, stop. before you say anything further, let me tell you something. Then Rasul Khuda tells that person, if what you are about to tell me is truth, and that person is really saying what you are about to tell me, then that is gossiping and backbiting. And for whatever reason, if it's not true, then that is slander. In either case, that is a sin in the eye of Allah, and I do not want to be part of this sin that you are about to commit. I do not want it to be part of it. Do not make me part of your sin. And our Hazrat refused to listen to that gossiping, backbiting or slander, whichever that was, regardless. He said, I do not want it to be part of it. Our Hazrat is a role model for us. Our peers and dais, our buzrugwars are role model for us. We need to see how they did it. They did it with one single thing, and that was courage to say no. Courage to say, I do not want it to be part of it. So let's come back to our subject, forgiveness of our sin when we are in the front of Mukhi Sahib. And we were talking about the willing and unwilling, knowing and unknowing sin. But look at how great our Mola is. He forgives all our sins, knowing, unknowing, willing, unwilling. If you are pure in your asking, if you are asking with a conviction, then He forgets. There are 3 different ways Imam forgave our sin. 3 different ways. As this Garib and Nachis mentioned, we are the children, spiritual children of the Imam-e-Zaman. So first, He forgave our sin, bad deeds, just by ignoring it. The example of that, when a mother sees a child break a glass, spill the water, what does a loving mother do? She just walks over there, she moves the child away, clean the glass, clean the water, and doesn't say anything to the child, because she understands that was unwillingly and unknowingly an accident. What we call it? A mistake. It was just a mistake. So when we do bad deeds mistakenly, Imam, as a loving mother, she just forgave our sin. She ignores it completely. Does not count in our bad deeds. Then, second, the one we do willingly and knowingly, but if we realize and ask for forgiveness, toba toba tasdidar, when we do that, and if we are doing with pure heart, conviction, then Imam has given the authority to the Imam, has given the authority to the Mukhi on his behalf to do a sifarish and forgive your sin on the Amr and behalf of the Imam. How wonderful that is. One time a moment came to a personal Mehmani in the huzur of Imam Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah, may our soul be sacrificed to the Imam, and said, Ya Mola, I do not like the Mukhi Sahib in my Jamat Khana. I just don't like the Mukhi Sahib in my Jamat Khana. Can I just come to you as you are regularly coming to Mumbai, India? I just come to you and ask for forgiveness of my sin. Can I just do that and not stand in front of Mukhi Sahib and do that? Mullah looked at him with a big smile on his face, and Mullah said, surely you can do that. But if you come to me and ask for the forgiveness of your sin, I will ask you, how and why did you do that? I will ask you a question, and you may not be able to answer me. But if you go to Mukhi Sahib, he will not ask you a question. He will not ask you when and why and what. You just ask him for forgiveness, and he with my amr will do a sifarish on your behalf to forgive your sin, and I will forgive your sin. Because Mukhi Sahib is recommending you, because you came to Mukhi Sahib. Do we understand what I'm trying to say? Remember, when we are in front of the pot, regardless if there is a Mukhi Sahib sitting there, Kamriya Sahib sitting there, or one of the other appointee of the Mukhi with the Amar of the Imam sitting there, it could be just a child sitting there at the pot. Because the communication is between you and the Imam Zaman. Yes, that person is the intermediary. He is the wasila. And when he said, Mola will forgive your sin by recommending you, and Mola will, if your heart is pure, he will forgive your sin. We need to be very mindful. It's not the person sitting behind the pot. It is the Amar they are sitting with. It's not the person, but the Amar he or she is sitting with. We do not need to worry about who they are, what they do, how they act, because that is between them and the Imam Zaman, just like it's between you and Imam Zaman. One of the questions that we had received when we were talking about this last week, that when we talk about dua and other kirya, why do we offer money, and where do we look while we are saying Tobo Tobo? So it was two-parted question, and we already had this in this session. Money is unconditional, is not required. Mukhi Sahib will not ask you to give him money. It is unconditionally you are offering the money. You are offering the money. Mukhi Sahib did not ask you to give money. If you do not want to give money, and if you just present yourself in front of the Mukhi Sahib and say Tobo Tobo, you will notice Mukhi Sahib will give you the same dua with the Amar of the Imam. It would be no more, no less, exactly same dua. Money or no money. Money is your offering. Mukhi Sahib did not ask for it. is unconditional offering, is not required. Where do you look? I would say if you believe that Mukhi is with the Amar of the Imam, then look at in the eyes of Mukhi Sahib. Just like when we say Hai Zinda Kayam Paya and we look at the Momin next to us, to the right and to the left, look at in the eyes of Mukhi Sahib when asking for forgiveness. Don't look here and don't look there. Don't look for the picture of Mola Bapa. Don't look at the ceiling or the wall, because you have a living person sitting in front of you with the Amar of the Imam. Remember this word. He is sitting there with the Amar of the Imam. Is not the person, but the Amar is speaking. The last point in this one was believe. If you believe while you are asking Imam for forgiveness of your sin, then your sins will be washed away and forgiven. There are a couple of more points. We can wait until next week. And I wanted to talk about the wasila, and there are 3 Quranic references. How about I'll just read and give you the references. Then if you have any question on that, then we will talk about it. Otherwise, my time that was allowed to me is over, and then we have time for few questions. Intermediary or wasila. There are 3 ayat that I have present here in front of you. The first one is from Surah Nisa, Surah number 4, ayat number 64. Why do we have wasila? Quran reads, we only sent messenger to be obeyed by Allah's will. If only those hypocrites come to you, O Prophet, after wronging themselves, committing sin, seeking Allah's forgiveness, and the messenger prayed for their forgiveness, they would have certainly found Allah ever accepting of repentance, most merciful. We have to have a wasila. In Jamat Khana, Mukhi is our wasila. In Imam is our wasila. And that's why we do not directly go to Allah, because Allah will and wish is to have a wasila. That is the Farmane Ilahi. Second ayat, take from their wealth. जो अभी हमने पैसों की बात की ना, कि why do we give money when we asking for tobo? There is ayat right here. Take from their wealth to purify them and bless them and pray for them. Surely your prayer is a source of comfort for them, and Allah is all hearing and all knowing. So that is the condition. If you wanted to offer, then Allah says, take from their money and purify them. So when we give money, we get a dual benefit. Number 1, forgiveness of our sin. Number 2, purification of our income. Number 3, blessing. Blessing and prayers of the Mukhi Sahib and the Imam Zaman. Number 3, and when my servant asks you, and this was the question, right? That Momin came to Imam and said, can I not just come to you directly, Mola Baba? And what did Mola Baba say? Look at this ayat. And when my servant asks you, concerning me. Indeed, I am near. I respond to the call of the supplicant when he calls upon me. So I let them respond to me and believe in me, that they may be rightly guided. کہ ہم پوچھتے ہیں کہ بھئی مولا باپا کو ہم کیوں ڈائریکٹلی نہیں پوچھے؟ ہم کس سے دعا مانگ رہے ہیں؟ مکھی صاحب سے دعا مانگ رہے ہیں یا مکھیانی ماں سے دعا مانگ رہے ہیں یا مولا باپا سے دعا مانگ رہے ہیں؟ یہ سوالات جو ہمارے دل میں پیدا ہوتے ہیں اور ہم بھول جاتے ہیں کہ مکھی صاحب امام کے امر کے ساتھ ہے اور ہم پوچھتے ہیں کہ ہم کس سے دعا مانگتے ہیں. اس کا جواب قرآن کے اندر سورہ بقرہ کی آیت نمبر 186 کے اندر دیا گیا ہے کہ جب یہ لوگ تمہیں میرے بارے میں پوچھے تو کہہ دینا میں تمہارے قریب ہوں. Indeed, I am near. اور جب تم مجھے بلاتے ہو تو میں سنتا ہوں. تب جب تم اپنے آپ کو سبمٹ کرتے ہو تو میں ادھر موجود ہوتا ہوں اور میں رسپونڈ کرتا ہوں, میں اس کا آنسر دیتا ہوں. جب میں تمہیں بلاؤں تب تم مجھے آنسر کرنا. So here we will stop. We have received 3 questions in advance. So I will stop here and ask Kamle Sahib, should we take these 3 questions which are in front of us first, or do we have any other pressing question that you